Hey, welcome back to the Soul Pod. This is Stacy. Today I want to talk about creating balance. Creating balance, when we're off and we know we're off and we're trying to figure out what's going on and how to get back to that space that's our acceptable level of balance. The author Janet Kingsford said balance is not something you find, it's something you create. And that's where we're going to be jumping off because it is something we create. Sometimes we think we find it because everything seems to line up in life, like this thing happens right, that thing happens right, we just happen to be in the right place, right time, right headspace, and we got that balance, we got that, whatever it is we're looking for, that acceptable level of balance, right? But that's luck. Most of the time it is a matter of us taking responsibility for what's going on and changing something in here to find the balance we're looking for, to create the balance we're looking for. When we find that happy space, that acceptable level, we're grounded, balanced, and regulated, right? And when we're not, when we're struggling to get back to that happy, acceptable level, we're ungrounded, we're off balance, and we're dysregulated. But why? Why do we get ungrounded, off balance, and dysregulated? What are the things that put us there? Once we know that, we can affect those things and then we can create the balance we're looking for. There are a lot of factors that play into this, but the important thing to remember is this: external influences are the primary thing that put us off balance. The primary thing. We often go through life thinking, I'm out of balance. So that's in here, right? Well, no, this is where it manifests itself, but it's usually outside influences that are affecting that thing, right? That are keeping us from getting there. And there are a lot of external influences. Negative interactions. We have negative interactions with people. We internalize those. So they come from out here, but they end up in here, right? See how that works? We have stress, say work related stress or something like that. So we have a deadline. We have something that has to get done by a specific time. We have undue pressure on us. That's out here, but it ends up in here. See? And then there are other external factors, and there are an endless number of other external factors, and they're everything from unhealthy relationships, and I don't just mean emotional, romantic relationships. I mean any kind of relationship, any kind of unhealthy relationship. You have a bad relationship with a coworker who's a difficult person to deal with. It starts out here and it ends up in here. See the theme? Financial pressure is another good one. Financial pressure can put amazing dysregulation in here, but it's out here, right? Making its way in. Another good one is media consumption. This is something we don't think about much. I stopped watching the news nearly 8 years ago, like intentionally. I stopped for 30 days, and I've talked about this before. I stopped for 30 days because I was meditating at the time, and I started to realize how much more relaxed I was. And then I noticed when I was having a good day, when I watched the news, it would just spin me out. Like it would just mess up the balance that I had found. So I was like, okay, I'm going to take 30 days off from this news nonsense because there's nothing I can do about what I'm seeing other than just be stressed anyway. In almost no case can I actually have any sort of impact on the outcome of what is happening in front of me on the screen, right? So I took 30 days off and I never went back. That's how dysregulating the stuff we let in can be. Something as simple as media, whether it's news or television. I was watching something on Netflix the other day, and it was an actor I like, and it was a cool action film, and I turned it on, and it was just full of death and shooting and people getting run over by cars. And I'm at a point now where my acceptable level of balance is so high that I seeing people get run over by cars is not enjoyable to me. Even if I know it's a movie and it's just entertainment, it bothers me. So we all have to find our acceptable level of what's good balance, our acceptable balance level. And once we know it, shoot for that. Now you can always raise it up, right? And at times it comes down as well. I was in a bad marriage for 15 years and I stayed trying to do the right thing, trying to help her work through her stuff. And my acceptable level went down, 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 and it was acceptable to this point. I was always trying to stay at this line or above, and once it got below that, I had to punch out. I was done. But these are the things that get in the way. And how about this one? Weather or climate. You ever get up and it's raining and you're like, oh man, another rainy day. Or you're somewhere where it's oppressively hot or terribly cold, and your mood just gets so affected by it. You're like, the stories. See, it happens out here, it happens out here. And we let the rain and the heat or the cold get in here, right? So it's all these external factors. I think you get it. All these external factors start out there and they come in here. So then we have to find a way to regulate, a way to find our acceptable level of balance. So how do we do that? The most simple ways, the short-term, quick fixes are these. Meditation. If you don't meditate, you don't have to necessarily meditate. You can stop and just do some deep breathing, be with yourself. Just find quiet inside, okay? All the noise, all this, push that out. Find the quiet inside. Find the quiet inside, right? If you have a dog, you can walk your dog. Sometimes that helps. Time in nature is also proven. Now, the cool thing about these two is that all of these meditation, deep breathing, time spent in nature, all these things are probably tens of thousands of years old, but have been written about for about 3,000 years. Like going back to the oldest writings, they talk about how to find balance. And if you think about all the great spiritual works and philosophical works, when they talk about finding balance, there's prayer, meditation, walks in nature, quiet times with yourself. They all have this in common, that we find this quiet time, this quiet space inside. We calm ourselves and be with ourselves. Basically, get back in here, leaving that stuff out there. That's where we find our balance. That's where we find our balance. Pema Chodron said, inner peace begins the moment you choose not to allow another person or event to control your emotions. And that's what it is. It's a person or an event. There's something external to us. The wisdom that comes from this statement goes back, like I said, thousands of years. Thousands of years. It's always the outside things that are affecting the inside us. So once we recognize that, we can take control of the inside us, find balance, find regulation, and get back to that happy space inside of us. Now, the question for you is, what is your acceptable level of balance? And do you want to improve it? If you want to improve it, that's an option too. But at least get back to that acceptable level of balance, whether it's needing to clean your house, or not letting the weather bother you, or finding a way to not allow someone in your life who's making you feel dysregulated be that much of an effect on your happiness. Whatever it is, the starting point is to get quiet with yourself, find balance, and go from there. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. If you haven't listened to the Soul Podcast yet, check it out. It's available anywhere you can listen to podcasts. And leave me a note below. Maybe you have a special way you find balance. Share it with us.